Good morning. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm trying to think of what today is. How are you guys doing? Hi, Kat. Hi, American Girl. How was your guys' week this week? It was Christmas just around the corner. Yeah, Christmas Monday. God, Lord, time is just flying by, isn't it? Whoops. Thank you. I'm wishing you guys all the best for 2024 too. I'm curious if you guys have picked up Tiny Habits and started reading it. Oh man, I wish I had started this so much sooner than I did. Good morning, Michelle. Gotta have my coffee. Scott is running a little late. He slept in a bit this morning. Good morning, Audrey, Jen, and Bruce. I made a live over a replay. Y'all, I can't tell you how many times I try to go to Dr. Barry and then I just literally 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh God, I'm late. And so then I go to do it. Something happens. And then I'm like 5 minutes past the live on Monday. It happens. It happens. This week has been crazy good. Hi, Karen. And it's been crazy good. Scott added it up. I have biked over 50 miles this week, not necessarily intentionally, but it has been a really, really good. Good morning, Melody. It has been a really, really good week. I am a little bummed, and I'm slightly, very slightly compared to what I had been. I weighed myself and it said I gained 3 pounds this morning. However, it said I gained 2 pounds in skeletal muscle mass and I started my period. So it's like, not going to change anything. Not going to fret over that. Just going to keep chugging on what we've been doing. Because as I said, I literally biked 50 miles this week. Plus I was sick too. So there's that. You good there?
I'm good here.
Scott wanted to take a shower this morning and then just time flew by. I was busy. Today was the first time I've been able to sit down and not have a million things to do in 2.5 weeks. That's awesome. It's hard when you feel like you're going, and never get quite a break in.
Sorry,
it's okay, honey. Hi, Betsy. Michelle. Michelle said hi. You've built muscle, which burns fat. Yeah. And the thing too is I did not intentionally go biking as far like yesterday as I meant to. I went further than I meant to go. And so I think there's probably a level of inflammation in there just because I haven't been biking that much. And it seems like it's just become quite additive. Yeah, yesterday we did 9 miles and I did 11 miles the day before.
Did you send me an invite?
Yes. 1 second, y'all. I just need to send this to Scott. It's sent. There you go, love. Anyways, so I'm not going to fret. Normally, it would be a knee-jerk reaction of, oh, I need to change 8 things. But I looked at what I was eating. It's fine. The one thing that I do need to do is the salami. I just need to cut back 3 times a week. I really just need to set a limit. 3 times a week for salami. No more. American Girl said, tell Scott the volume's perfect. I'm wearing earphones and the chair scrape didn't blow out my ear. He was opening a folding table so he could set his laptop in front of him, but I was a little worried that it would be a bit loud. Anywho, Keto Cheeto. That's such a cute name, by the way.
Should allow me in, I think, right now.
Okay, gotta turn my head to this, right to Scott. Hi, Jay. Scott and I are going to be going and playing board games after this. We're going to go down to a friend's. And for his Christmas present, guess what I got him? Tiny Habits.
Actually, she's convinced me, and I'm really enjoying it. A little habit, And the cue is, because I set my coffee in my little hot pad here, and the cue is when I sit down to read a paragraph. And I'm finding I'm reading more than a paragraph, maybe a page or maybe 2 pages, and I really enjoy reading. So this has been actually a lot of fun.
It has. It has. I just finished chapter 1 yesterday or the day before.
I'm almost done with chapter 1.
Are you? And it's been actually really nice rereading it after I've read it the first time. Because you pick up new things every time you read something. So it's been actually really nice. Yeah. Picking up more of this stuff and the nuance in the sections. So.
And I'm just excited because, like, overall, my stretching habit has felt really good. Like, my first stretch in the morning, I realized, like, when I first started this, like, 2 weeks ago, I could barely bend over, it felt like. And
you could barely bend over.
Could barely, yeah. But now it's like my morning stretch, I can just feel it, like, going inches, like, just stretching more. It feels so good to be able to be flexible like I had never been before.
Yeah, that's been Scott's issue. Is he's never been overweight, but he's been like a brittle pretzel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been the kind of person that, I can go walk for miles, or I can do the elliptical for probably an hour, but it's not like, it's not that stressful, but it's the flexibility. And that also directly affects my willingness to work out and really push myself physically.
Yep. Workout. I'm winking because he did it one time.
I got 17% this week. The workout's done.
I've had people ask me about the workout. And so my brother-in-law does personal training, and he has this app, and he set it up and set my exercise regimen of what I need to do. And we talked to him yesterday because Scott has the app and he has it set up for him too. And he's like, let's look, because my sister's doing it as well. He's doing it for her too. Anyways, he's like, let's look at everybody's progress over the past 14 days. And he's like, yep, Jesse, 75%, my sister, Amanda, 75%. Although I only actually missed one, but I forgot to log something. No matter. Scott, 17%.
Hey, I got to bring the average down a little bit so they don't get to, too big of an ego.
That's what it is, huh?
Honestly, I think, and so this is what, like, it's Monday through Saturday is our workout kind of schedule, and Sunday is just a day of rest.
Yesterday was.
I think that Monday morning I'm going to start doing a different habit that I work out first thing. Like, feed the girls, start coffee for Amanda, do those morning habits that are really, and then just go work out.
You know what would help?
Before I even have my cup of coffee, before I even sit down and relax, just go work out. And
you know what would help?
What's that?
Y'all, reading Tiny Habits and doing the exercises at the end of each chapter.
Okay. As far as the workout habit, that's what I want to work on.
I know.
I think it'd be better. It would be a better cue for me that coffee's done, go work out. Like, it started, and then I can just mentally go do that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think I'd feel a lot better if that's just done. Because the day goes on and we start, like, getting activities, and I've got to interrupt what I'm planning on doing to go work out. And I think that if I just did that first thing in the morning, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Cindy got Tiny Habits, but have not had the time to sit and read it yet. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Cindy, do this. Do what Scott's doing. It's sometimes so hard to do small steps. One paragraph. One paragraph. He sets his coffee down. He reads one paragraph.
Let's see if I can show this.
And then Audrey, the first was the audiobook. I love audiobooks. Don't get me wrong. Do not buy this. If you can, do not buy this book in audio version. Okay. Because you can see to Scott, to my right.
So there's
graphs.
Read the entire book, and there's look at a book. So I was at the read the entire book or read the entire chapter. I didn't want to do it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can open and do a paragraph.
Yeah.
So I started doing a paragraph, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. But get the actual book, because
yes,
the 8-year-old Amanda that's like, I'm never going to need to understand how to do, graphing, and no adult uses a graph. Well, the graph is super helpful for understanding the concepts. So get the physical book if you can. Do it. No audiobooks if you can avoid it.
definitely worth it. And it's affordable. So it's still $8 now.
I don't know, but it was like $8-9 on sale on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's the holidays now, everything's done, schedules can get back to normal. I love having a normal schedule. I absolutely love having a normal schedule. I'm actually very glad the holidays are over, just because not seeing all the crap food stuffs. Although we went into Home Goods, no, we went into not Joann's, Hobby Lobby to get some bags and stuff. And they're already putting out the Valentine's Day stuff. Did you see that? They were taking the Christmas stuff down and putting Valentine's Day out.
I hate Valentine's Day. It's holiday made just to torture men.
Oh, so excited. I got a promotion to a Mimi in waiting. My son got married in November and we're having a honeymoon baby. Oh, congratulations.
That's fantastic.
New motivation to keep going for my tiny habits.
Absolutely. That is fantastic.
Oh, Liz, the audiobooks have PDFs too long into. Oh, okay, so the PDFs are a little bit down into there. Hi, Thomas. Had to break today. Pork and sauerkrauts I made. Pigs in a blanket. I'm curious if your blanket was the sauerkraut. It's Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. Yes. Yeah.
Very, very good book.
Yeah.
And I mean, we also recommend Atomic Habits, but the other thing that's really important is Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I love the book because it's a scientific method of discussing why people work the way they do and like what you can do to kind of basically better your life. I think it's chapter 8. It's my favorite chapter. It's a scientific exposition of why just telling the truth is the best thing. The title is Tell the Truth, at least don't lie. And it's like, it's just so, it makes so much sense. When I talk to people and I discuss, like, how you're going to improve your life, how you're going to do better, you tell the truth to yourself. That's the most important thing. And the more truth that you tell, or, at least don't lie, the closer you get to the divine. Because to me, God is synonymous with the truth. The divine is synonymous with truth and integrity. God is flawless and God never breaks a promise. And so for me, the spiritual aspect of telling the truth is very important.
Sorry, not to change
Sorry, totally went off subject.
No, it's fine. Just Kate said the audiobook, and so did Liz, that you can download the PDFs. I did not know that. As many books as I've downloaded, I don't think I've ever paid attention if there are PDFs attached to it or not. But thank you. And there was his personal prologue. Yeah, it's not in the regular book. The prologue isn't. So there you go. Audiobook, but definitely download the PDF for the graphs. I'm telling you, it really does help understanding the concepts so much more. Having that visualization as he's talking about it, when he's talking about like the action line and stuff, it's just hard to imagine until you like lay your eyes on it and you see it. Hi, Mel. She says, I made it happy. Or hi, Amanda. I haven't had much coffee this morning. I can't read. Hi, Amanda and Scott. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Good morning, Jess. But yes, I'm so sorry. I rudely interrupted you.
No, that's kind of what I was just saying is that, I like the book because it's a kind of scientific method of like why telling the truth is just so important and how it really affects your life. Where you kind of learn that in Sunday school, right? You don't really understand, like, it's like lying's bad and that's all you really learn. But I really like that chapter because it really explains why it's bad and how it fractures your integrity.
Well, it just fractures your character too. Yeah. And so reading list, if you haven't read any of these books, this is what I suggest. Start with Tiny Habits. first. Like, get through it once, twice, do the exercises, followed up by, I would say 12 rules and then atomic habits, or atomic habits and 12 rules.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like tiny habits is better to start with because it gives you a blueprint on how to change the habits. And if like you're stressing, feeling like you're on this rat wheel and you can't get off because you keep doing well and then stumbling and then this, start tiny habits. It gives you the blueprint of how to do it. Atomic habits kind of, it buffers and fills in where there's a little bit of missing in tiny habits. It's still a really good book. And then 12 rules for life. It's a hard read, y'all. Like, not necessarily the words, but it is kind of like a slap in the face and a hug at different times, because it helped me understand, by lying to other people, I made it easy to lie to myself. And it just led to, terribleness. So here we go. Kate, hi from the UK. This might be off topic, but have you noticed if blood type A has a problem eating carnivore? We have low stomach acid and easy to digest problems. Type O is ideal. So Scott is A, and he has zero issues with carnivore. So, I am O, but he is A positive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm positive.
And here's the thing, like,
I just remember it's the grade I never really got in college.
Oh, Lordy.
A terrible student.
I don't prescribe to, how do I say this? I don't prescribe to the blood type. Because here's the thing, the human body is extremely adaptive, and our stomach acid is going to be based on what we're consuming. If we are eating a high carbohydrate, high sugar, kind of vegetable-y diet, then what happens is our pH doesn't have to be very high. It's more basic than acidic in our stomach. And our bodies, they are all about conserving energy, not expending unnecessary energy. So why produce very acidic stomach acid if you don't need it? You need it for proteins. You need it for breaking down fats and things like this. And so when people mention the blood type stuff, it's like, that's such a generalization, and I hate to say it, but it's not remotely true. Our bodies adapt to what they are being put through. Like the whole saying, move it or lose it, it follows onto that. If you build muscle mass and you stop using it, your body breaks it down very quickly. It will not expend the energy to keep it there if it's not necessary. And I had a patient one time, I will never forget him. He was a bicycle accident, car had hit him, and he was in the ICU. He had been pretty much like real buff guy because he was showing us pictures. He was 21. He was bicycling 10 to 20 miles every single day, got hit by a car, and he went from being like real strong buff to he actually had to have my help sitting up in bed. 21 years old within 6 weeks. Like he went from biking no problems to couldn't even sit himself up in bed the size of a beanpole. So I just, yeah, Dr. Barry's blood thing is, it just, our bodies adapt to whatever our dietary intake is. And, so there's that. But as I said, Scott is A, I'm O, no issues.
Yeah. And, okay, so I have eaten the standard American diet for a long time.
Most of his life.
After
the standard Totino's pizza diet.
Yeah, Dave Smith's free calendar. And I slowly gained weight over time, and it was all 100% my stomach, But after going on carnivore, like my stomach weight has gone down, and my overall blood chemistry is better, but I've never had a blood pressure issue. Like if I switched from standard American diet to carnivore, then that would have probably changed the blood pressure, if there's something about that. There's not. There's just not. I'm overall so much healthier. My A1C is even lower. My cholesterol is better. My HDL, good cholesterol, is much better. My LDL is actually lower. It's so much healthier to eat carnivore. I don't know where people get some of the stuff that it's like,
Well, because what will happen is they a lot of these studies and books and stuff, they'll pull a thread and then they start to negate everything else that are like, we're not a closed chain system in a sense, and things like calories, where people are like it's the end all be all with it, but it's not. We're not. We use 3 different types of energy. We use thermal, chemical, and mechanical energy. Things like calories take in only thermal energy breakdown. So sugar chick. Well, they say red meat is completely terrible for you and causes high blood pressure and causes high cholesterol. Except my cholesterol has gone down, and
Mine too. Like that's kind of what I was addressing your comment, sugar chick, is that
yeah,
that's what we've been taught, but that's not what actually happens. And in fact, Amanda's website, carnivoresmeat.com, has got over a year of blood work showing the change from when she was 360 pounds to 260 pounds and then more, plus like the cholesterol changes. And she does something called the advanced LDL or advanced lipid panel.
Yes.
Yes, which is a very specific and fine-tuned panel about cholesterol that not even our doctor knew how to interpret.
Well,
Because
primary
most doctors,
primary care.
Primary care doesn't
Yeah.
really know how to. Most doctors don't actually know. They're taught cholesterol's bad, and if your cholesterol's high, go take statin. But
anyways,
anyway,
no worries. She's just, it's fine. People have the right to have their own thoughts and opinions, and that's okay. Anywho, y'all. So, yeah.
Pescatarian is probably.
I think that's eating fish, potentially. I don't know. Don't really care. It's fine. It is a-okay. I was watching the other day. It was actually kind of funny. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't actually quite get this. I was watching Instagram the other day, and there are all of these. I don't really wear makeup. Most of you guys probably know this. I don't wear any foundation. My skin is sensitive and things like that. But a lot of these influencers will do makeup, but their skin is like looking terribly broken out and stuff, and they're promoting these skin products. And this is just a thought I had. It's like, am I the only person who looks at their skin and thinks, if you're promoting that skin product and your skin looks like that, I don't know if I want to use that skin product. I was just having this thought the other day, and maybe that sounds terrible, but I don't know. Melly, update, still off the Mickey D's? Whoa, good job, Melly. I know you've been struggling with this. Now make my bed every morning, little habits. Thanks for your help. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I know you were really struggling with the Mickey D's, and that is, I'm proud of you. I hope you are super duper proud of yourself. Y'all, society and what we've been told says the small stuff doesn't add up. It's not good enough. Or I mean, at least that's what I've experienced in my life, right? It's not good enough. You got to do more. These kinds of things. But we need to celebrate these small things because they are what add up. They are what add up. And they do make a difference in what's the thing? We change best by feeling good about ourselves, not bad about ourselves. Pindar, good morning. My husband and I started meat only 3 days ago. Can you recommend a good electrolytes? Element is pricey. I use Element, but you can, I've had people mention buying like magnesium and then I want to say the Celtic salt and mixing their own with adding some potassium. I have not done that myself personally, but I have had people mention that before. So if you really want to cut down on your budget, that is an idea. And you probably can Google or on YouTube, there probably are recommendations for ratios and stuff like that.
We did a video a little while back, just a long while back, the true cost of carnivore. And we realized that, like, one, we're not wasting food, so we don't throw that money away. Two, we don't produce as much trash, so we actually cut our trash bill down by $60 a month.
Cut it in half.
Yeah, cut it
pretty
in half.
much.
Because it was $120 a month to come every week. So we only do bi-weekly. We started finding meat deals. $4.97 for a rib roast that we can chop up and serve and save, and $4.80 a pound essentially for 40 pounds of flanken ribs that we still have some that we bought 6 months ago. Like what you'll find is that you'll be able to start saving money.
Yes.
In areas that you never recognized before that you can afford to, do element or things like that. It's just recognizing, like going through, and we don't have any of our.
Also suggestions sometimes. Yeah. A lot of times, if I'm not going to do something super physical, I'll do half a pack a day. I've been having to do more just because I have been literally sweating my brains out from the bike riding and the working out and stuff. So for those of you too, that if you want to make it last longer and you aren't experiencing the headaches, cramp, things like that, because Thursday, oh my Lord, I thought my head was pounding, but that was the 11-day my biomicro 11-day bike ride. Not enough water, but I also had sweated so much out that I had to have more. Anyways, that's another suggestion too.
And the thing is also when you start your palate starts changing after weeks on this, that you just add salt to your food more, because the standard American diet. Sorry, my hands are going everywhere.
No. Audrey said element. They have a recipe for it.
Oh, okay. The standard American diet is loaded with excess salt, excess potassium. When we did that one video, we compared
Oh, that's an old one.
The first 2 weeks, we're like, what about this series? We compare like a fast food meal with,
like a carnivore.
A carnivore meal. Yeah. And we did Wendy's, and the Wendy's, like, regular burger and fries and all that had something like 3,000% of the potassium that you would normally need.
Yeah.
So when you start changing and getting all that junk out of your system, then some simple salt will really help a lot. You don't need element as much. Like, I don't use it that much, as Amanda, because I don't.
That's because he's only worked out one time this week, y'all.
That's true.
Victoria, starting carnivore. I've had MS since 1992. Please keep me updated on this. Yes. My cousin has MS, and I have been slowly trying to convince her, because I have scleroderma, RA, and stuff. It's not obviously MS, and I really, really want her to try it. She's older than I am. She's gonna be 50. Something, yeah. 50, because I'm one of the youngest cousins on my mom's side. Anywho, and I would really love to see how it goes, because I know other people have done amazing with their MS and even had some prolonged remissions, had some of the lesions shrink, and things like that. So I would love for you to share how you're doing, and maybe even consider, Victoria, documenting your journey, because people that have, pretty debilitating, because MS can be a range of how bad it is, whether it's active or not. And that would be something that'd be just amazing. Michelle, this morning heard Dr. B say using element or salt from Keto Chow. The reason I really like element so much is, I'm going to be honest, it's a big old convenience for me, taking it out of the pack and not having to think about it. I'm one of these people that I stress about messing with things like enough sodium, magnesium, potassium kind of stuff, because we can kind of mess ourselves up if we get a little crazy. Cindy, I'm still struggling to get my daily glucose down after 8 months of carnivore. A1C is still at 8. I have had it down to 6.1 2 years ago with a lot of medications. Getting off all meds in New Year goal. Woo woo. Cindy, I'm curious, have you had your fasting insulin checked? That would be a really good one to check on your insulin resistance, because if you have been very insulin resistant for a really long time, it sometimes can take much longer. Like my mom can take a lot longer to heal from the damage that having elevated glucose blood sugar levels have been. Also, I strongly suggest, at least for a period of time, tracking what you're eating just to kind of get an idea. Is carb creep happening? I've been tracking what I've been eating and I didn't realize. Like, I know there's some carbs and cheese, but like one day I had 16 carbs in a day and I was like, how in the world did I get that? It was mostly from cheese one day. So just kind of look and see about things like that. I think it'll help.
Can I suggest
Yeah.
also, you might be eating too much protein. There's some people that they make comments like, I've been doing carnivore for a while and I'm gaining weight because they're eating like 3 pounds of meat
Yeah.
a day. And
I will say there are some people that need that much, but it
right,
really depends on your body, how active you are, all of that. And so having a blanket, I eat X amount of food, it just doesn't work. It's about really finding what works for each of us. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
no, that's okay. That's just it's just one of the things. Food journal just to see what your intake actually is a great way to kind of
Yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah. But Element has recipes on their website. Yeah, I know they have. I saw one time they had like how to flavor some of them, but I honestly did not dig that far into the website. Skip. My fiance and I are both getting back on Carney wagon tomorrow. Woo woo! Good job for doing it together too. Fell off during the holidays. We're in Seattle. Are you doing a meetup anytime soon? Yes, January 20th. We are going to, I think it's the Centennial Trail. So it's probably 40 minutes north, depending on where you are in Seattle, because right, Seattle is so large.
Right.
Come join us. You can find the information on carnivoresme.com. I have a meetup section, and I just ask people RSVP because then I can make name tags, and I don't know if we're ditching people or not if they're late. So there we are. Let's see. When I first started keto, I didn't know about electrolytes, but I had heard you can take sips of pickle juice, and I did that, and it helped a lot. Got
I've
that
heard that before. Cool.
vinegar in there. I'm not good at writing. I hate writing stuff down, but I will sure try. I also have a cousin that I don't have at the end of. I also have cousins that have. I'm thinking it. Um, don't worry about writing it down. You can just do like video logs if you want, or just like a daily quick tracking of stuff. It would just be something good to, at least for yourself, no matter what, to look back and kind of reflect on, like, okay, it's been a week and I'm feeling like this. And then you can just go back and compare how you're doing, whether you want to share it or not. I bought the sample pack and I like flavors. I just don't know if there are good options. I use the raw personally myself most of the time. So.
You will cook.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Scott's going to pop off to go start making us breakfast so we can eat right after the live and head down to go play some games. So, goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Love you. Sorry it's so short today. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Just kicked him off. Thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if anyone wants to make electrolytes at home. I use Soul, super easy to make, and I've used it since I started 10 months ago. There are a lot of others. Yeah, there are tons of others how to make. Watch out for carbs and onions. Yeah, they can just like sneak up in there, And that's why I think, especially if you get stuck, tracking for even just a brief period of time can be very helpful in looking if there's carb creep happening or things like that.
Sorry, how would you feel about like some cheese and some charcuterie for breakfast instead?
Sure.
Because I can just do my meat mush. I'll take a few minutes.
I'm completely fine with
I can
that.
just stay on the live.
Sure. After you shut your laptop.
And I'm back.
Ah,
Didn't quite think that through.
that's okay, honey. Congrats, and I hope you get to your goal super quick. Is that your turkey in your pick? Love turkeys. I have a blue slate. I'm curious, Sarah. I hate to say this. Do you ever eat your turkeys? I did tell Scott, I think I would do terrible if the end of the world came and we had to have a farm. I would have to be kept away from all the animals because I would name all of them. And then I would probably cry as I was eating them because there's no way. Melly said, Scott, gotta say, you're looking very well, my friend. And Amanda is also looking well, of course. Best I've seen you both look. Thank you. I have noticed my skin is looking so much better. I got the little red area. I think it's, I don't know which side. That's where I ran my face. I will never forget this. 2 years ago, I was driving across the country and I was coming back home and I had a mattress in the back of our SUV. And I had my walker because at that point in time, I was 360 pounds and couldn't get around without the walker. I was laying in the back there and I like threw my 360 pounds forward to turn off the glowy light on the dash because I was driving across country by myself. And I ran, so this one, I ran my face into the corner of the walker that was folded. And I had a fracture in my facial bone from it. So it's caused some damage there and then a little bit of the rosacea still. But Hi, Lainey.
You want to let me in?
It's sorry, 1:30 a.m. 1:30. Oh, because yeah, you are on the other side of the world. So your New Year's Eve is already over.
Thank you.
Let's see. Are you eating enough? Possibly under eating. When I'm hungry, physically, I'm susceptible to cravings. So this is my theory about under eating because there are plenty of people who are like, I started eating more and I started losing weight. What I think is happening is when we are subconsciously or consciously trying to limit our food intake, what happens is as our body feels more lethargic from not eating much, we do less, we move less, and then it kind of finds this like homeostatic, like equilibrium of we're not eating a lot because people are like, I've eaten 1,000 calories and not lost weight. I think what it is they've eaten so little, they get so dang tired, they just subconsciously stop moving around a lot, and then the body's just like here. So sometimes eating a little bit more does help, and that's why I say tracking is key because if you go 2 weeks and you're like, God, I'm eating like 1,200 calories and not losing anything, well, maybe eating a little bit more protein and things like that could actually help you feel better. So you want to do more.
I think the other part is that cues. One of the things that I've had to really learn with Amanda, especially during when it got to the fall and started to get darker and darker, that it's harder in the wintertime when you're not being as active. And if your partner, which is what I was doing to her for the entire year and a half, really, like, oh, I'm hungry for a nutty buddy or whatever, or a donut or whatever, but I'm going to be good and I'm not going to have it. So the reality is I just gave her a cue that there's some food out there that I want, that if she like wanted something else, then that would essentially give me permission to do that. So it allowed her to really kind of like think on the food that she wanted or think that I had a chink in my armor. So I had to stop just talking about it.
It
Even
helped
if
a
I
lot.
wanted it, just don't even talk about it. And then what happened was there's a reciprocity in that she doesn't talk about it either. Even though she might be having a craving, she doesn't talk about it. And then we just are both moving past the craving by not having the cue.
But also, something I learned too, and this was being honest with myself, is when he or I would say something like, I want a nutty buddy, but I'm going to be good. It's actually was almost like a subtle little mental worming my way into trying to convince him. It was like a precursor trying to convince him to go.
It's a way of manipulation to get what you want.
Yeah, it was a very subtle, like just eking your way in there, like planting the seed. And I had to be honest, that's what I was doing. I was planting the seed in his mind, and then just over a little while, letting it grow till I could just like press on that spot.
Right. No, we're not saying that you're doing that, but
No.
the whole point was cues, because if you're having cravings, is there a commercial that's like, oh yeah, people really like those, or is it food at a family gathering,
I
things
love
like that.
Korean dramas. I love Korean dramas. However, I have to limit when I watch them because in Korean shows, there's a lot of food. It's a lot about food. And I'm not even a rice person, but it can trigger me to want to eat. I found just subconsciously, I ate dinner 2 hours ago and it's like, I feel like I want to eat something. And I realized it's the cue of seeing the food. My insulin was done this month, 9.7, so it's pretty elevated. Forgot recent A1C was 9.2, not 8. Yeah, so Cindy, I would take 2 weeks, track what you're eating. It's called Chronometer, the orange one. I use the free because I'm a cheapo. Use the free one and just weigh your foods. It's easy peasy. It doesn't take any effort, I find. And then just track. Don't change anything. Just track what you're doing. And I think you might find a lot of answers there in what you're eating. We'll see. Oh, everybody said bye. You can say welcome back, Scott. Pula, Happy New Year! Order Tiny Habits online sale from Walmart. Looking forward to it. There's a couple TEDx videos of Tiny Habits. I haven't watched them. I actually should. The TEDx videos, those would be interesting. Mel, what's one highlight for you from 2023? The most recent one is being able to bike to the ocean. That is like the most recent one. God, I don't know. I've had so many in 2023. An idea?
I would say the new nephew that you just adore.
Oh, I meant more along my journey. Of course, the nephew. He's the most adorable. I know he's my nephew, y'all, but I would still think the same thing if he wasn't.
Rosie finding us all to take care of. Let's see here. What else? All kinds of stuff.
I don't know. I probably should do a reflection video for 2023. It's been quite a journey to get from January 1st of the beginning of this year to now. And, there was great weight loss, then weight stall, then a little weight gain, and then finally, getting back on track after 7 months of struggling with the loss of Rosie. Yeah.
I know what I think is the best thing is the maturity of dealing with stress.
Yeah.
You've gotten so much better at it. You really have.
Hi, Leah. Hey, guys. I was bad at Christmas, but come Christmas Day, I was actually craving beef. Put on 9 pounds in 4 days. Obviously, inflammation. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. It is so easy. It is so easy to gain like 10 pounds in pure fluid when you haven't had carbs than you do. Because it's like a 3-to-1. For every gram of carb, you retain like 3 grams of water. Don't quote me on it, but it's close to that ratio. So yeah, it's super duper easy to put on fluid if you've had carbs. But you've come so dang far. Oh my gosh, you've come so far. I have cousin with autoimmune disease also. Yeah. Yeah. I go to the rheumatologist next week. I didn't even realize it. Thank goodness I put it in my phone because I forgot. I go to the rheumatologist next week. So I will do a rheumatology update after I see her. I am actually going to cut my hydroxychloroquine in half again. So I was taking initially 400 milligrams, so 200 twice a day. And then I dropped it down to 1 tablet, which is 200. And then I'm going to talk to her about cutting it in half again for the next 6 months and then going from there. So I'm excited about it because the one thing about the hydroxychloroquine is it causes eye damage for prolonged use. Usually they don't let you stay on it more than 5 years because of the potential eye damage and eye loss sight from it. I'm excited about getting even lower on that. Katie tried to stay away from the weight scale. So this year I bought a new shirt I would like to be able to fit into by the end of the year. Each month I'll put it on. That's a really good idea, Katie. That's a really, really good idea. Finding something that also you like and you're aspiring to get to. I really like that idea. Michelle, eating time is also a thing. I eat twice per day most days. I don't do well with lunch and dinner. I don't do well with breakfast and lunch. My timing sweet spot is brunch and dinner. That's what we do. We do brunch and dinner. We eat around 10 to 11 and then around 5, and that's about what works for us.
Yeah, which is why, so part of, and there's a comment further down where Ruger is going to start his carnivore journey. Building good habits is going to really help that. We have a habit of we eat like 10 and 5. That's why I was like, okay, well, we got to leave right away. I should go make food. Because if we let ourselves get hungry, then we might snack on something bad at our friends that is available.
Like today, we're going to their house, and a lot of times they'll have carnivore-esque food for me, which is very sweet of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll also have stuff like breads or tortillas, or I think they had eclairs one time. Scott was there. But we're going to take the pork carnita meat we made last night. By the way, it was so good. Okay, this week I'm going to have to dig out. I don't remember if it was short, shoulder, or butt that I did. It doesn't matter. You just need a fatty cut. It tasted so dang good. I swear I was eating it with a corn tortilla. I don't know why, because there's no corn of anything. Maybe it was because it was crunchy.
Here's the secret. We slow cooked it in the slow cooker and then shredded it, then put it on a pan and put it in broil for a little while, get it nice and crispy, flip it, broil the other side, nice and crispy. It gives a texture, like kind of crunch to it, and then you put the little fatty juices on it, and it tastes delicious. It's wonderful. She devoured like 11 point something grams last night in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was good. It was delicious. Ruger, I literally just watched your video. Oh, this is when you're talking about.
Yeah.
We've been lied to. I'm 330 pounds, 5'7" male. Carnivore starts today. Congratulations. Okay, Ruger, if hopefully you're still here, go to the bookstore today and buy the book Tiny Habits.
Yes.
You will not regret it. I wish I had had this book at the start of my journey. It would have helped me avoid a lot of potholes. And I don't think it would have helped me be a trillion times more consistent along my journey, because it's been today 26 or 20 day 26 of showing up for myself, of being consistent. This past month has been amazing. I can't believe it's been 26 days already.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
And Sarah, you were too funny. Like, there was a comment she did like a week and a half ago, like, hey, all of a sudden bicycling. You can bicycle feed from Bellingham, for whatever reason, we're not sure where you get the feed from Bellingham, down to where you live. It's only 330 miles one way. You should be able to make that bicycle trip in a day and a few hours. Yeah, okay. Well, I was down for it. She's like, sure, I'm for it.
Well, I was told about bike bajouring. I'm probably saying that completely wrong. It's where it's like an attachment you attach to the front of your bike, and it's almost like sledding with your dogs, but you're on a bicycle instead. I was like, I just would have to get that for Olive. Just do that. Although the little booger on that 11-mile bike ride, she goes ham when we're first going, crazy, crazy, crazy. About 3 to 4 miles in, she starts to just trot along, and I never drag her. I only match her pace. Then we get to the ocean, and she's just trotting along, bebopping. I think she just wants to sniff and look around. And then coming back, it's like crazy.
Second
wind.
Hauling butt.
Yeah, pulling. Oh my goodness.
And it has actually been so much fun, because she takes Olive, and sometimes I go with her, but then we take the other 2 girls, and they love it, and they're learning to run together, and they're building their stamina. They can only do about a third of what Olive can do.
Yes, but I have to remember, we've been doing it almost a month, Olive and I together. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of videos on food lies, not to mention Dr. Barry and Chafee both have videos about the studies being crap. Yeah, the main study used for LDL cholesterol saying red meat is bad if you actually read the study, not the meta study, not the people doing aggregating all the data from the studies, if you go to the actual study,
of the analysis,
it will, I mean, that's what a lot of them are, is their analyses of the original analysis. Anywho, they consider pizza with pepperoni as in the red meat category. Last time I checked, that was not a red meat. Pizza was not. And so that is pretty much how they got around saying red meat is bad, is they used highly processed meats in combination with carbohydrates in the meat category, not solely steak, chicken, uncooked and crap and things like that.
They have a lot of other processed foods in their studies.
Yeah. So when people make these comments, I'm like, literally, you don't have to understand all the mumbo jumbo about this study itself. But if you go to that section and you read it, you're like, oh, wow, that's really eye-opening. Sorry, go ahead, honey.
No, it's fascinating to me, because one of the things that COVID kind of brought out was a lot of interest in science and studies, and it kind of revealed that there is a lot of people that their job is to do an analysis of a group of studies that really they're only analyzing what the synopsis is at the top.
The abstract?
Yeah, the abstract. I'm sorry, the abstract. So it's the abstract that tells you what the study is and doesn't have all the details. And so what they're doing, because the studies are so long, they're just taking all the abstracts and doing an analysis of the abstracts, not actually digging into the study, not doing these other things. A lot of these, this is healthy for you, this is not healthy for you. It's just crap.
I read an article headline on Twitter yesterday that Bill Gates funded a recent study saying peanut M&Ms are actually healthier for you than red meat. I was like, oh, wow. With all the dyes, the chemicals, I'm sure peanut M&Ms are real healthy for us compared to red meat. Sarah, what are your favorite games to play? I used to go to the shop in Portland once a month for a game night. It was so much fun. Oh, Zombicide is one of Scott's favorites.
Zombicide Black Plague. So there's a Zombicide that's like modern, based on the Walking Dead series, but they went to a Black Plague, which is like a medieval thing with some more magic and, a lot more characters. Love it. It's so much fun.
Settlers of Catan.
And we do a super map. I have 2 settlers, 2 seafarers, and cities and knights, and it gives me a map about 3 times the size of normal settlers.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
What else? Let's see. Alchemist, I think is what it's called. Yeah, it's almost like Clue on steroids. It's actually a very difficult game.
Very, very difficult.
It uses some crazy deduction.
Mistake, you're done. It's over.
Yeah.
What should we like? Exploding Kittens.
Exploding Kittens, yeah. That's actually a cute game. You can get the kid version. They have a not safe for work version and a kid version. It's actually, my niece loves playing it with us. Michelle, does REI still do the Seattle to Portland bike ride? I can see. I didn't even know they did that. So I wouldn't know, but that is super cool. Bike Bajoring. It sounds like Swedish Olympic sport. It's like BYRING or something. I told you I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, it's like just dogs sledding with a bicycle. I was watching a video of it, and the guy had his 2 dogs in front and they're harnessed together. And he was in a forest. It was coming to a Y, and there's this tree, and the dogs looked like they were about to do this. And at the last second, the other dog swerved. I'm like, that would be an interesting accident to have. Hunting dogs like Olive can run all day. I was telling my sister, talking about it with her, and she's like, it's just the breed. Hunting dogs, they are just bred to go and go and go. Because I was wondering if I was overdoing it for her, because I'm like, I don't want to hurt her. My endurance is gotten so much better. I just don't want to push her too much. So I was asking her, because she's a vet, what are some of the symptoms or signs I should look for that I'm exhausting her too much? And she's like, she's a hunting dog. She'll be fine. Lainey, is there another meetup in the works? Yes. January 20th, we are doing the Intercontinental Trail. I believe it's probably 30 minutes north of Seattle. I tried, because we're in Bellingham, I tried to find a middle point. It's on the website. If you go to carnivorousme.com, I put the meetups there, and I have the location and all of that. And I found a cute little place that's like a burger shack that you can do bunless burgers. So you can just do meat patties. We can do after. Pula, totally inspired by your showing up videos along with the tiny habits references. I've now been doing my daily meditations for a month and 2-minute elliptical. Whoop, whoop. Most I used it in 5 years. Right?
That's amazing. Fantastic.
The past 2 days, I've been doing 4 minutes. I'm like, this is so much more than I have ever used. All my time added together before does not even compare to as much as I've been using it now.
We used to watch Aria,
my niece,
her niece, once a month. Aria had more miles on it.
Can you turn this off?
Off?
You got long arms. Thank you.
There we go.
Can you turn that on? Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
The light from... We're sitting next to each other, but it's because I'm at the window. The light's kind of weird right now. Sorry, go ahead, honey.
That looks totally dark now, and I look very bright.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyways, we watch Aria, and we'd be preparing dinner, doing whatever, and she would just kind of pedal back and forth. She had more miles on that thing than Amanda in 5 years.
She would use it. She would use the elliptical more than I would.
Play. Go ahead, kid. Have some fun. Play. Then, we'll take her out for a walk, tie her out with the dogs. Yeah. But now that Amanda's been doing it, it's been fantastic. Mm-hmm. And really, seeing her go every morning, I want to make sure I stretch. I do my push-ups. And, like I said, I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to really try to get my workout done first thing.
Good morning, Stony Mountain Adventures. Heading to Brazilian Steakhouse. What steakhouse are you going to? The Texas de Brazil in Seattle?
Yes.
We will have to.
That was so amazing.
We'll have to do another meetup down in there. It was so good. Like, I've eaten now twice at Fogo de Chão. And first time was great, but that was also 10 years ago. This last time it was honestly, the meat was more overcooked and it was slow. Texas de Brazil.
Oh, so good.
Oh, so good.
So much garlic steak. I just gorged on it.
There's also a bike ride from Houston to Austin. Interesting. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That sounds terrible. I'm going to be honest. My grandfather lived in Houston, so we went to visit. The bugs are bigger in Texas, and the humidity. I wonder what time of year you did it, Bruce, because that sounds rough. Melly, if I'm not coding software, I play race and fight sims. Scott and I like playing
we do like
building sims, like co-op
/ survival
sims. Yes.
So
together.
Latest one we really like is Medieval Dynasty. I enjoy it. I don't know. I find peace just in there farming.
Yes. Yes. Scott likes farming. Bike joring. Here we go. Bike jarring. Okay, we're going with close enough. Yeah, it's from Mushing Pulling Dogs. It was super cool. Because Janet, I think you were the one that pointed it out to me anyways. Of which, by the way, I did look into it. I think I'm going to I talked about making a Y. I think I'm going to make a reverse T for the dogs to try to get where I can do both of them with me. Oh, Sherry, Seattle to Portland bike ride is sponsored by the Cascade Bicycle Club. If you want to check it out, it's a 1 or 2 day, no dog pulls. That sucks. Who's going to pull me up the mountains? I don't know. My butt could take that. I don't think my booty.
Ride, 2 days. Although we're gonna, when spring comes, we're so happy past the winter solstice. The days are getting longer. We're gonna be doing lots of hikes with these dogs.
Yes. Mary, real stressful week. I'm sorry, Mary. I stayed true to the program. A win for me. That is amazing. Amazing job, because stress, that has been the one consistent thing that just pushes me over the edge. So I'm super proud of you. I am really proud of you. Lainey, I will make a meetup one of these days. You know what, Lainey? Go to the website and you sign yourself up. So then you don't have an excuse to back out because you already signed up. I'm going to Claim Jumpers in Tukwila, just south of Seattle. Out last meal, we were invited by another couple. Steak is on the menu, thank goodness. Right. I haven't eaten at Claim Jumpers in probably 20 years.
A long time.
It's been a long time. I'm in Southeast Seattle, so it takes a bit of planning to get over to the west side. Lynn, which I did not see her today, Lynn is, what islands is Lynn at? It takes Lynn like 2.5 hours, I think, because she has to take the ferry over, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember which island.
So there's a lots of people.
Yeah.
Victoria, I've also had 2 weight loss surgeries that have not worked. I have learned until you know how to eat right, nothing will help. Yeah. So weight loss, and I will not begrudge anybody that's done it or wants to do it, but something is, I actually went twice, went almost all of his snoring, went twice through the entire process to get a lap band, and I backed out right before the surgery both times. What they don't talk about is the bariatric surgeries are temporary appetite suppressants. That is all it does. I mean, other than it can really mess you up. I've had a ton of patients that have had really bad issues with post bariatric surgery, like malnutrition, yada. Anywho, it's a rough go, because what happens is anybody can eat past the surgery, stretch stomach back out, drink milkshakes. Like, there is ways to get around these surgeries. And until we know how we got there, why we got there, and deal with the habits that got us there, bariatric surgeries, it's like a 85% fail rate, y'all, for bariatric surgeries, because it doesn't actually address the root cause. Yeah. I'm going. We're going to Rio de Brazil in Johnson City. I did not. Okay, that has to be new. Because
I'm leaving once again, guys. I love you. Bye-bye. Sorry.
That has to be new, because it was never there when I was there. But I haven't been to Johnson City in a long time. Probably 8 years. So it's been a hot minute since. I was actually going to go to ETSU before I decided to go to University of Minnesota, funny enough, which is East Tennessee State University. Okay. I'm gonna go through here real quick. I love Settlers of Catan. I have a love-hate because Scott always beats me, so I half the time hate playing with him. Janet, you inspire me. I was feeling down this morning because I didn't get to do everything on my vacation. I go back to work Tuesday, but I need to buy Tiny Habits. Go get it. And you know what? Don't be disappointed, because there is always next time. And, here's the thing. Life never works out how we plan. What is it Scott always says? Is it in the Art of War or whatever? The best laid plans, pretty much they fall apart. That's not how it's said, but that's how Amanda interprets it. Bye, Melly. All right, y'all. Okay, last question. Finally, getting my daughter that has dysautonomia to do keto. That's nice. That's awesome. It's been a multi-year struggle, but she's finally agreed to try it. She has meat aversion. Any advice to make that easier for her? I'm curious if she has meat aversion before starting keto, or you guys have started it and now she's experiencing it now. If she has meat aversion before, ahead of time, it's going to be just weaning the meat in there to her, because the palate's going to change. And a lot of times, if we've had a high carb, high sugar diet, meat isn't the yummiest thing, because our palate wants the sugars. It wants that like instant gratification. And then as we get it out of our diet, it gets much better and meat tastes better. Now, if she's been doing it and has meat aversion, then my suggestion is every time I have meat aversion, I don't eat. I just fast. Because my logic is, if I was truly hungry, I would not stick my nose up at, I say pretty much anything, because I don't know if I could eat like a cow tongue, y'all. I don't know. Maybe I could if I was starving. But that's my logic. If I'm literally being picky about things, then I'm obviously not that hungry. And so I just fast past it. I don't know how that's going to work necessarily with your daughter, but you could try it and suggest it and have that conversation with her. Don't know if it's going to really work with her, but that might help. But just try weaning it in, and maybe starting with things like chicken breasts and stuff, and then increasing to fatty meats to not give her a upset stomach. All right. It's a little new over near Mad Greek and Academy Sports. I'm thinking I know where you're talking about, but on another live, I saw you said you like Inuyasha. When did you get introduced to it? I was watching that when I was like 12, when it was, what was it? Adult Swim, whatever, when that actually existed. All right, y'all, I'm going to go eat some salami. What I just said I needed to cut back on because Scott wants to leave early. I'm going to go eat some salami for breakfast. Have a really good day. Happy New Year's Eve and Happy New Year's Day to those that are on the other side of the world. Y'all, tomorrow is the beginning of 2024. Get yourself tiny habits. I cannot stress that enough. Get yourself tiny habits. I promise you will not regret spending the 9, 10, if it's not on sale, $20 that it has been. Setting ourselves up in our mornings for having a good day has been the biggest game changer for me. When we feel good about ourselves, it's so much easier to improve ourselves versus shaming and guilting. All right. Have a good day, y'all, and I shall talk to you soon. Bye. Scott says bye too.